after this, I'm gonna be in my own little corner.
You go on ahead and do that.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome everyone to another episode of Hanging in Bear Country. I'm your host Brian Martinez. With me always is
John Taffer.
who is
God.
you are old.
Bar rescue.
You are old.
Yeah. Well, anyways,
We have
Today
some guests
we're
with us
back.
on the podcast. You guys want to introduce yourselves real quick?
Hi, my name is Bella.
My name's Sarai Padilla.
All right, good. I'm sorry, it is kind of like a much more different tone that we're going to be kind of working with here, because the topic of today is, or at least, the topic of today is how we process grief. So like how we handle losing a loved one, essentially. Because I feel like I at the very least feel like that's very important, because high school is already like
It's a tough time.
it's already a whirlwind of emotions, and to lose someone super close to you during that time
Amplifies that.
just
times 10.
makes it worse. So I don't even know how to go about this.
Yeah,
kind of like-
I mean, it's kind of like really just straightforward.
Probably the most vulnerable like I'm gonna get here.
True.
That I'm ever gonna be here. Right
Yeah.
now. Wow.
Has anyone here ever like lost anyone?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we all have.
Yeah.
It's toughy.
It's just like, how do you deal with that afterwards? You know?
Well, you can use me as an example of how not to deal with it. So we can start there. We can start easy.
All right.
Process of elimination, if you will. I had a grandma on my mom's side. Okay. She was, just amazing woman. Wise. This is the one that I tell you that I have that dream every September.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, just like full of knowledge and full of life. And I was like really young, like super, super young, like between the ages of like 7 and 10. And so, of course, when you're that age, like you just think, oh, she's going to stick around for a while. She's not going anywhere, you know? So I always hate to admit this, but I didn't always, you never truly value something until you lose it,
Yeah.
I guess, and so I was just like, yeah, okay, she's my grandma. And so whenever she wanted to try and teach me something or share something about her life or her experience, I was just like, and I'm like, if that is one of my only regrets. If I could go back in time, I would like go back through those like one of those sessions and be like, pay attention, and then I did, and they'd be like, who hit me?
It's like me.
Yeah, no, yeah, legit. Like in all seriousness, like when she died, it hit me. Mostly because my parents did not prepare me whatsoever. When I went over there, they were just like, hey, you're gonna see some sad people.
I don't think there's like a way to prepare anyone.
There really isn't, I guess. But just like, how should I say this?
Especially at a young age, it's harder.
Because all they said was just, you're gonna see some sad people. Okay.
What does that-
what happened?
what
What does that mean? And then when I
mean?
got there, it made everything that, because I was like, oh, now I know why they're sad.
I also feel like when you're younger and you're like, when you're very young, you don't know how to process grief. You don't know how to.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't even know how to understand that this person's gone from your life like forever. Like that's it. And you're not going to see them anymore. And like as a young kid, I lost like my great grandma. I didn't really know her that well. I lost her when I was pretty young. I don't know how old I was. But I always still felt like, obviously I still felt sad, because like knowing that death is such a like
Permanent.
permanent thing. I knew that when I was a kid, so it was kind of just like I realized that. However, I didn't really know how to, I guess, like really recognize and understand that she's like
Gone.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so when that, ooh, super sorry.
Great.
Whoa.
My bad. Bad timing. When that happened, I shut down completely, because it was both understanding the fact that I'm never going to see her ever again, until the next life. But it was also then the fact that I felt immense guilt, because when we went to the funeral, everyone, like, I mean, when I mean everyone, I mean like even my brother, who was like a year and a half younger than me, had something profound to say about her.
Wow.
And I just sat there, like, I mean, I obviously went up and said some words, because it wasn't like I didn't know her completely, like I knew her, but like mine was such a surface level like understanding of her, while everyone else like unpackaged story after story after story after story. And like it just, I mean, just I broke down. I didn't leave my room for like a week straight. I mean, literally, my parents were trying to get me out of the room for school, and I was like, I'm not going. I missed school for a whole week because I just.
Yeah.
Yeah, just stuff. Oh, thank you, Mr. Fernandez.
Of course.
Thank you. But
Yeah.
that's just not the way you need to handle it. I mean, I get it. I was young, so like, you know, no one ever gives you a pamphlet guide, you know, so you lost someone close to you, you know, like,
Step one.
Yeah, step one,
Yeah.
cry, you know, it's like, that's not how it works.
Because everyone like takes grieving in a different way.
Right, everyone's gonna handle it differently.
Yeah.
But if I could put my 2 cents, talk to someone. Like, don't close yourself off, because when you close yourself off, you only leave yourself alone with those thoughts, and it just makes it worse. It really does.
Yes.
So I would heavily implore you to at least try to talk to someone about it. You know.
And
That's just me.
I agree with like the talking to someone, especially if like there's someone who's also experienced that loss with you.
Yeah.
If you have like if you talk to people who haven't experienced a loss recently, or they didn't know the person, then they might not have much to say and much to like relate to. But if you talk to people who like have experienced either the same loss or like understand, I feel like that's more helpful.
Yeah. Personally, I've never like really lost a family member. I mean, like the ones that are dead, like died before I even existed. So yeah. But I know what it is to lose someone close to you. Yeah. Just because like I've lost one of my best friends recently. And like, you know, at first it's like, it's shock, you know, it's crazy. It's like, oh my God, like this is happening. This is real.
Yeah.
And you don't believe it. And, you know, it was like, at first, because, you know, I'm not very, like a very emotional person. I don't cry. Like I never cry. It was like, well, you know, like I'm going to be fine. I'm okay. And I was not okay. In fact, when it hit me that I was not okay, it was the worst timing ever, because it was during this year's homecoming dance.
Oh.
Yeah, because it happened like I think I found out the day before homecoming.
Yeah.
That Friday at the football game, I was there. The Friday at the football game, I found out. Like my face, like I just froze. Like I didn't know what to do. Like at first I was frozen. I was asking questions like what do you mean? Like I was fully in like shock and disbelief. But like at the back of my mind, I knew that it was like true.
Yeah.
So that's like one of the worst ways to find out. And then homecoming came around, and then like waves, like waves kept happening like through the night. Like I just realized like he's not here.
Yeah, I couldn't function properly that night, like at all. And then towards the end, I just kind of like finally like broke down in tears in front of everyone. Luckily, a few of my friends were there, so kind of carried me out.
That's good.
So yeah, that was like the first time I cried in so long, and I felt weird. So yeah, like it felt better after. So, you know, when you lose someone, it's important to let it out, let your emotions out, cry, and talk to people. Definitely talk to people. So yeah, how about you, Isabella?
Well, one, obviously what you guys were talking about, like that did hit a little bit, but I think the biggest, like, something's ever hit me, like losing someone. I lost my best friend's mom, and I've been best friends with him since kindergarten. So she was like a second mom. Like when my mom wasn't there, she was there. Like she was part of my family. Like I called her my family, and I think I was more angry. Like I found out like beginning when summer, like barely freshman year, so I was barely becoming a freshman. So I was like, I didn't like know how to process it. Like I didn't know what to do. Like everyone talks about like, oh, you should do this. Like it's okay to like, but everyone grieves differently. Like when I found out, yeah, I cried because like she was a big part of my life. But like once I got over that, I was angry. Like I was mad at everyone. Like I shut down completely. Like I didn't talk to my mom. I didn't talk to my sister. I didn't talk to no one. Like I was just in my room isolated. Or when like someone would talk to me like, how are you feeling? I would just shut down. Like I would be like, I'm fine, and then just walk away. Like I didn't talk about anything. And I think that's one thing I regret the most, because it took healing to a whole nother level. Like just not talking to someone and not communicating anything is just hard. Like it's just like you feel alone. Like you feel alone when you lose them, but you feel even more alone like not communicating that.
Just adds on to it.
Yeah. So I'm still like, it's been like 2 years and I'm still like processing it. Like it's still a shock. Like I know that I'm never gonna see her again, but it's like, what if like, and I think it's part of like, I'm not fully over it, and it's like the denial part, but it's just like, it sucks losing them. And like, especially since they were there for me like through everything. Like I think that's what hit me the most. Like, and like I think I was more hurt that seeing my best friend hurt. And it's like I just couldn't do anything for him because I never lost my mom. So I understand like he was hurt, but I don't understand the hurt on his level. And I think that's what hurt me even more. Like I couldn't comfort him the way that I wanted to, because I didn't lose my mom, unlike him.
Yeah. So
I think that the biggest thing that I felt like when I lost my friend, I felt guilt. Like I knew, I felt like I don't know, I felt helpless in the situation. I felt guilty. Like I felt like I should have been able to do something to prevent it, you know?
Yeah.
And then like I dedicated one of my college essays to him. I wrote about him in one of them, and I kind of just like, I poured my whole like heart and soul into that.
It's good.
And like I don't know, I like, again, like I still feel that guilt like even now, and processing guilt, like, and like the grief like together, it's just like hard to do.
Yeah, it's hard because like, you know, so used to sing him.
Yeah.
And then you realize like now it's like recently, like I've really like starting, it's like hitting me like, wow, like I really could have used his help right now.
Yeah.
I realize how much I miss this guy.
You don't know how good you got it until they're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah.
And like everyone's like, that one thing is like you have to really value everything you got, but like you value it to a certain point, like, but until you lose them, it's like I should have did this, I regret this, like, and it just spirals into like everything. Like,
yeah,
it spirals, and like a lot of people become depressed from that. Like,
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, just because it spirals into self-loathing and almost like a survivor's guilt kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, especially when you lose them to like more sudden cases, like with family members. Hopefully, like most of the time, it's because that like they're old, they're slowing down, they lived a good long life, you know.
But when it's unexpected,
when it was
hurts.
unexpected, it hurts way more, because you just know that. I mean, God, man, like you know that they have their whole lives ahead of them, and I feel like the best thing to do in that scenario is just to continue living on, just for their sake almost, because then I don't know, because then I feel like once you stop remembering them, and once you stop like
you keep living on to keep their remembrance alive.
Exactly. Thank you. Yeah.
So keep remembering those that you've lost forever. You know, because really that's all you can do, and in their honor too.
Yep.
Keep their memory alive. So on that note, we're gonna end today's podcast. bit of a sad note.
Yeah,
But take this time to really appreciate who you have around you, and to remember those who you've lost.
especially real quick. I'm not sure when this is going up. All I know is that this is around this time. This is a thing. Please support the Jalen Cornish
Yes.
scholarship
Yes.
thing. Please. Okay, even if you didn't know him, okay, even if you didn't know him, which I know for a lot of people they might look at it like, okay, like whatever, okay, like it doesn't matter,
It's
but
not whatever.
please support it because it's going to such a good cause, helping do exactly what we're talking about, preserving the legacy of someone who left such an amazing impact on this school and everyone else he was a part of. So please support it. Okay, and with that, we're gonna wrap it up. So thank you guys so much for hanging in Bear Country. We'll see you guys next time.
Take care.
Bye, guys.
Bye.